everybody, I'm Amy from the Cauldron, and in today's dye time I'm going to be over dyeing this t-shirt. Now this t-shirt is one of the ones that sits at the bottom of my drawer. I rarely wear it, it's not my favourite t-shirt, and so I thought, well, why not try and over dye it to see if I can make it into something that I will wear. Now I don't know what the fibre content is, as the labels are long gone, but just going by the feel of it, I'd say it's at least 50% cotton, possibly higher. I honestly don't know, but it feels more cotton than polyester. So this is now going to go into pre-soak in soda ash and water while I figure out what colours I'm going to dye this. This has been soaking in soda ash and water for over a day now. It doesn't need that long, but that's just how I've had things set up. And the dyes I've decided to use today are Mermaid's Dream and Blue Violet, Lavender and Snozzberry, and Fuchsia Red. And these are all Fibre reactive dyes from Dyer. I'm going to do blue, purple, pink, I think. I did that with my daughter's vest and it looks really pretty. So I'm going to do that with this. I've got blue violet. I'm just going to sprinkle, no, not blue violet. This is Mermaid's Dream. Just going to sprinkle a bit on there. Make sure I get the corners. I have got my surface protected with a tea towel. These are all dedicated dye equipment. I don't use it for food. And I've got my mask on and my gloves on. So that's the blue violet. I'm going to go in with lavender here. No, that was Mermaid's Dream. Stop saying blue violet. I'm going with lavender here. Just sprinkling it on quite thickly. I haven't tied this in any way. I've just sort of scrunched it in one of my dye pans. Now I'm using different spoons for each dye has a different spoon. I don't want to cross-contaminate my dyes. And fuchsia red up the top here. Yeah, that's sort of the colour progression I want. So this is the blue violet. Oops, it's going here. This splits into beautiful blues and purples. So that's why I wanted it in between the Mermaid's Dream and the lavender. The lavender, I can already see, has split into pinks and blue specks, which looks amazing. I'll zoom in a minute once I've applied the last dye, which is Snozzberry. Now this dye looks blue, but it is a beautiful purple. So I'm hoping it's not going to look too weird here. I'm wondering if I should have chosen a more pinkish colour, but I really like this. So, and this powder is so fine as well. Right, that'll do for the Snozzberry. If we zoom in here on the lavender, you can see those blue and pink specks that the dye has already broken into. Now, we can just about see some breaking in the blue violet. And then coming over here to the Mermaid's Dream. This does break beautifully as well, but I can't see any breaks at the moment. Going over to Snozzberry, this is very similar to the lavender in how it breaks into blues and pinks, which is so pretty. The fuchsia red is a primary, so that's not going to break. There's only one colour molecule in there. Now, when I defrost my freezer, I like to try and keep the frost in a bag to use for ice dyeing. So that's why I've got all these lumps here. It's very cold. And there is muck in this as well. Oops. As I said, this is from my freezer. So there are crumbs and there are bits of peas in here. I'm just going to spread this out. Hopefully this will be enough liquid. If not, I can always add some more. But this is looking pretty good to me. What I'm going to do now is just add a little sprinkling of Nebula Navy on top here. Just because I want to, really. I love this colour. I don't want it to be overpoweringly dark, Or maybe I do, I don't know. We'll see what this looks like when I finish. So just a little bit Nebula Navy. This is a primary, so this Nebula Navy won't break. There's only one colour pigment in this dye. And now I'm just going to leave this for, well, let the ice melt, and then I'll leave it for a good 24 to 48 hours after the ice has melted. Thinking about what my schedule is for the rest of the week, it will probably end up sitting here for a week before I end up washing it, but that's not going to have any negative impact at all. Right, this has been sitting out for 2 days now. I'm going to carefully drain off all this extra liquid. It looks like an awful lot of dye, but hopefully there's some that's stayed on the t-shirt. Now I'm just going to rinse this out in just some cold tap water and some washing up liquid. This is an awful lot of colour, and the yarn dyer in me is panicking, thinking, gosh, what have I done wrong? Why is there so much colour coming out? But this is to be expected with cottons and fibre reactive dyes. They don't exhaust like plant-based, like animal-based fibres do. So if this was say a merino yarn that I was washing and all this colour was coming out, this would go straight back on the heat with a ton more acids, and just crossing my fingers that everything will set. But I'm not panicking, because this is what happens with these fibres. The water will lighten, the runoff will lighten, I'm hoping. But I did use quite a lot of dye on this, probably a lot more than I needed to. So there's more to run off. I am regretting not wearing gloves because my hands are now turning purple. The original runoff was very, very dark blue, but now it's turning purple. Yeah, see, the water is starting to lighten up. It's certainly nowhere near as dark as it was. But I'm not going to stand here hand washing this all day. I'm just going to let it soak for a while, change the water a few more times, and then I'm going to put this in the washing machine with a bunch of towels and things I don't mind colour transferring onto. And here is my finished t-shirt, and I love this. This is much more me than a grey t-shirt. There still are some grey patches sort of around the sleeves and at the top here, but they don't bother me because it's all part of the design now. And if you look at this, you wouldn't say, oh, that's a grey t-shirt. It's definitely a nice multicoloured t-shirt, and I'm so happy with it. You can see sort of here where I have added the dye. It's quite speckled in a way. And I like that. But if we have a look on the back, you can see it's a lot more sort of blended. You don't get the sharp speckles quite as much. And I really like both. I do. I honestly really like both. But what I think I want to try in another project is either turning it inside out. Because you can see the speckles here on the inside, but it's not, yeah, you can do. Either turning it inside out or turning it upside down so that I add the dye to the back of the t-shirt rather than the front. So I get this sort of beautiful blending effect on the front, which is still gorgeous on the front. It's just you've got all the specks as well. It's just something different, and I always add dye to the front of something. So I think next time I'd like to try adding dye to the back of something, just to mix it up. And you can see, if we have a look at the top here, you can see where the flowers have been painted. You can still see that, but there's a lot more going on now. And yeah, I think the pink has worked well with that, and sort of moving down the purples and pinks, beautiful, and then the blues at the bottom. So happy. These are all really my colours. And then again on the back, it is more sort of blended here with the purples, and you got the blues at the bottom, and not quite as bold with the pinks at the top, I don't think. I think there's a lot more of the pink on the front. But again, I love this, and I'm definitely going to be wearing this more than I used to. And if we look quite close, if I look closely at the fibre, it doesn't look overly heathered. So I think this has got quite a high content of cotton in this. I don't know if it's 100%, but I would say it's probably at least 80% cotton, because it looks like there is certainly more dyed here than hasn't been dyed. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I have enjoyed making it. I'm now thinking to myself, are there any t-shirts in my drawers that I don't really wear, and can I dye them? I publish a new video every Monday, usually around about 6 PM UK time. So make sure you're subscribed and you've got notifications turned on so you don't miss any new videos. Thank you so much for watching.